Hey folks, my name is Pravus. Welcome back to more Endless Legend 2. We are playing as the Tahuks, spreading way wider than we probably should be. Honestly, we should be playing this game tall, but I'm having fun just spreading around the world, and we are trying to worship Sayada, which is going to be awakening very, very soon. In fact, very soon I expect we're going to have our third monsoon and then tidefall event, at which point the entirety of the map should be opened up to us and we'll have the last resources in the game available. We are currently at war with a couple of different factions over here, and I've found kind of a small problem with this. Let's see if I can show you what I'm talking about. So these guys right here, we're absolutely obliterating these guys, right? Like there's really no contest at all. If I say, hey, I'm ready for a white peace deal with you, he is going to immediately refuse the demand. Instead, what I'm finding is they send me surrender demands all the time, which is really weird, because obviously they're in no position to make that demand, but for some reason they think they can, and if they're not going to accept an end to the war, I'm pretty sure over time that is going to start obliterating some of my happiness, and that's going to become a big problem for me. So, yeah, I think that may be something that needs to get fine-tuned when the game does release as of tomorrow, but for right now, we're kind of stuck with what we've got. Anyway, let's just go ahead and keep moving forward and wait for that third monsoon, and just keep warding off the kin of Sheridan every time they encroach on my territory. As far as research is concerned, I don't know exactly what else I need. We could continue focusing on getting some additional science. That wouldn't be a bad idea. 50% extra science on scribes means I can start working through text very, very quickly. And I think that wouldn't be a bad option. Also, 15% industry cost on units is nice. Some of these units cost like 5,000 industry each. So shaving off 15%, that is not an insignificant amount to remove. We've accomplished another deed, be the first to have a city with 20 population. As a result, 2 industry on all population? Seriously, on all of them? I mean, that seems unbelievably good. Yeah, sure enough, it doesn't even matter what job they are working. Wow, okay, so that's enough to make my industry skyrocket. We like having lots of population for that reason. Oh, and one more thing that I had as an idea. So remember we turned this entire territory here into glass, and my main quest line did not progress. In fact, for whatever reason, I can't actually see the progress on this quest at all. It's completely missing. Let's try doing this one more time, but let's try doing it on a territory that is attached to a city, and not one that is unattached. Maybe that is one of the secret requirements, and the game just doesn't tell you. So right here, for example, which really sucks, but we're gonna do it, and that was in fact it. Okay, that obviously needs to be better explained to the player. I need to know that it has to be on a territory attached to a city, otherwise that's very frustrating. So we get a faction trait, dignitaries, extra dust for every number of technologies we've ever researched. I mean, that's not bad. Hey, yeah, cool. More benefits to being a science-focused nation. Sounds good to me. Evolve your holy oculum into a divine oculum. And that would get me another trait. 10% industry cost reduction on units? Wow. Not bad. Question. How does this one get the divine oculum? Can't do an upgrade from here. I would have assumed it was something like maybe it's an improvement? I do not see that anywhere here. Maybe it's a technology and I just don't know. Field studies there, grant treasury, citizen science, philosopher's circle, lecture hall. Is it a year 6 tech? City hall upgrades? No. Well, wait a minute. How do I get a divine oculum? I literally do not see that anywhere as a technology. Huh, that's concerning. I don't see it back here in the previous years of tech either. That's just missing. Well, that's a huge problem. I need to know how that works. Still waiting on that dang monsoon. Can fire off pretty much at any time here. And it does get more and more likely as well with every turn. Now it's between 1 to 9 turns, then 1 to 8, until it finally fires off. If I had some better weather technology, I probably would have a better idea when this is going to happen. And this is definitely a bug up over here, by the way, the Unmourned Dead. This quest has made 0 advancements. I've built many laboratories, and apparently none of them matter, which sucks. It's not like it's a big deal. I don't even really remember why we got this quest. It was something from visiting down over here. So I don't think it's holding me from anything I care about. It's more just like, I'd like to check this off my box, you know? Another deed has been achieved. Be the first to have 100 pops in the Empire. That's a lot. Also, we get a free hero. What do you mean this is my last turn? Wait, what? Whoa, 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 whoa. What do you mean this be my last turn? It's not supposed to be my last turn yet. Hold on. Victory. yeah, we've completed the diversity of worship path, because I have 81 Tahuk pops, and that is a lot, admittedly, sure. But, like, I thought, didn't I need to build things like the wonders and get the endgame techs as well? Because if you're telling me I only need one, well then yeah, forget these. Getting pops is fast and easy. But that can't be right, can it? Because if you look at Master, I got the Supremacy here a long time ago. So if I only needed one of these 3 paths in order to win the game, surely this is what I would have done. So, why? I'm confused. I guess that's the end of the game, everybody. It's not exactly what I was thinking it was going to be. I didn't even get to finish my darn main storyline. And I have no idea how you upgrade this stupid oculum. But sure, let's just go ahead and take a look at that endgame cutscene. Oh, the victory spread. Gathered beneath our sacred monument, the oculum that we couldn't upgrade. Hooray! So soon the captive god within Sayada shall awaken, and we didn't even have the 3rd tidefall. Oh, gosh. I mean, it's kind of cool. It makes me feel like Sayada, like, as a prison or like an egg is just cracking open, and all this energy is releasing itself. Which is nifty. I like it. Apparently it worked, though. Even though we were the servants of the Endless who locked away whatever this creature is, it forgives us, and we are completely fine. Wow. I don't really understand, guys. I'm not sure what to say there, because something doesn't feel right about that. Were we really supposed to win, or is that a bug? Like, the fact that I have to ask that question is a bit of a problem to me, but seriously, if we only needed one of the conditions, we should have gotten a Supremacy victory like an era ago. So, why? Why only one of this? Also, I'm noting from a score perspective, it certainly looks like the other aspects did a really good job of keeping up with me, which either means that the score factor is irrelevant, because I haven't finished, like, any of the main objectives as far as I know. So either they're getting a lot of score from something that they aren't using, like a military or something, I don't know. Score doesn't really matter, I suppose, at the end of the day. The good news is we can continue playing, and I really want to see what happens when that 3rd tidefall comes, so I'm not stopping, but the game is officially over. Huh. That's, yeah, that's very anticlimactic. I'm not thrilled about that. Well, we do get our 3rd hero. Oh my gosh, and it starts off as a level 10 hero? That's incredible. Like, this thing is going to be a tank in its own right. Oh my gosh. Once again, by the way, notice here, Pink is asking me to surrender to them. This is what I'm talking about. It doesn't make sense. Why are you doing that? By the way, get shot at. Aha! I've never actually gotten to use one of those towers, so I just wanted to see what it was going to do. Now these guys can't run away without instantly dying. See, look at that. The AI is definitely not very smart with how they move their armies around. That might literally be a difficulty level thing. I'm not playing on a very high difficulty level here just because I wanted to experience the game, but that could be a big part of it. I did build my first monument over here, though, by the way. Oh, there's the monsoon, finally. Okay, so yeah, this is what the monument looks like. It's kind of cool. Trying to remember what that does. It adds extra industry to all works districts. So the more of these you have, the more industry you start piling on, and the better and better you are at building up monuments, which makes sense. I would still like to understand, though, why is it that I have so many of these improvements for my cities that require all 3 tiers of tech materials? Like, I really don't understand why this exists, and I feel like this has to be a mistake. I can't even buy the materials justifying this being available before Tidefall 3 even hits. Something about this doesn't feel right. I think it's an oversight, and I will definitely be filing that as a bug report to the devs. Whether they'll listen, I don't know, but I mean, I'm in a fancy Discord with them, so I have to assume that they're paying attention. I will say I am chunking through my science all of a sudden, by the way. It seems like having 2,500 science per turn is pretty good. Whoever would have guessed? Very, very powerful. Lovely. But I must say, something feels weird about how combat and sieging works in this game as well. Like, I know we're going into hard critical mode here with this video, and that's not my intent. I really am liking what I'm seeing here with this game, but there's little things that I'm noticing here. So, for example, Pink's capital is right now being raised. They've got 3 turns to do something about it because I got a breach. There are troops here. Like, if they don't attack me, their capital just dies straight out, which feels kind of unfortunate. Also, more deeds are certainly pretty nice. Is there a way to see all the different deeds in the game? There is. Okay, hang on. Over here on the right, deeds, we can see things like Bringer of Death, be the first to eliminate 30 units, 20 foundations, blah, blah, blah. And we can see who got through all of these. Some of these are really powerful, like almost game-changingly good. So if you know what kind of deeds you want, definitely worth trying to get them. Though hang on. From what I just saw here, Bringer of Unity, 5 Industry on a Works District, we got this well before Tidefall number 3. So why is this allowed to show up? Like, if it's not actually restricted by Tidefall number 3, then why file it this way? There's just little things like that, which I think mislead the player. Not intentionally, but they do. And stop demanding I surrender to you! It doesn't make sense! I'm literally burning your capital down, not the other way around, you dingus! Okay, Tidefall, finally. This is the last round, folks. The oceans are going to recede. I don't know if they completely disappear from the map or what, but it sure looks like a lot of it's going away. It is kind of cool, by the way, to think of like Sayada literally as like a giant machine prison or something, and it's just absorbing the water back into it or something like that. I don't know. Like, could that be a thing? Could this planet be one giant machine with like an organic, biological ecosystem up on top? And it confuses everyone to thinking it's a real planet, but it's not? The thing is, as crazy and weird as that sounds, endless legend, endless space, I mean, as fantasy as it looks, it's kind of actually a sci-fi game. So, maybe. I wouldn't put it past them. So let's move to the final era over here. I think we want to go for the Arcana of the Ancients first. Mainly because not only is it going to get me more science, but generally reduces the cost of all techs by 20%. And considering at this stage of the game, each of these techs costs 50,000 science, I'd say that's pretty good. I am assuming, I do not know if this is correct, but I am assuming that the cost for technology scales with the size of your empire, because otherwise that would be a little bit on the insane side. And I do have a very wide empire. Had I built taller, I'll bet you I could go through the science a lot faster than I have been. But like, Pink, we no longer have borders with each other, like, at all. Can you just wipe peace now? I don't really care about anything else. I'm not even going to demand your money. Nope, they say no. Yeah, this doesn't make any sense. I've got literally 100 times more war points than they do. As far as I'm concerned, they should not be able to continue with the war. So is my only option to end a war at this point to just go through and literally exterminate them? That's not ideal, and I feel like that's something else that's not really working as intended if so. Oop, hang on, look down over here. We found some tier 3 resources. All right, so Thalatine is now a thing. I could even buy from the world stock now, which means some of those final improvements are going to be an option for me, which is great. I would like to do that. Notice, by the way, how weird the terrain looks this far down. I think this kind of lends credibility to my machine world theory. Like, does this look natural to you? I don't think so. Does it look a little bit like circuitry? I do think so. I'm just saying. It would make sense, sort of, in a weird, very sci-fi way. And it would just go to show how unbelievably powerful the Endless actually are. So you should be in awe. Holy crap, some of the tiles down here are getting insanely good, by the way. 39 industry on one tile plus all that other stuff. It's because these anomalies are incredible. Like, the deeper into the planet you go, yeah, obviously the fortresses are scary, the local minor villages can be scary, but the reward is incredible, which makes sense. That's been consistent at every other point in the game. But the good thing is, even if I don't attach all this to my city, it's totally possible for me to just place down camps and start extracting these resources now. So I'm going to start making some Eradion over here, which I assume is the military strategic resource, and all we need to do is get some Thalatine, and I can start getting the economic resources as well. What are some of these things down here? Isridil deposits, more luxuries I haven't seen. Oh, wow. Yeah, there's actually a whole bunch of new luxuries over here. Yeah, all very cool, creepy stuff down here. I like it. So let's go ahead and buy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the Thalatine. I have tons of dust, like it's not actually an issue. And if I want to get some of the best improvements in the game, what do we have access to now? 15% tech cost reduction in the entire empire. Yeah, let's do that and spend 12,000 science and just do that straight up right now. So that's going to take what was 50,000, and we also placed down a couple new territories that increased the cost, but now it's down to 42. Yep, we're looking good here. Ooh, what did I discover over here? A new natural wonder. Cool. Why am I getting like a cutscene thing here? I don't know what this is happening. This didn't happen with any of the other natural wonders, but okay. What even is this thing? It's a crystal dune. Oh, wow. Whoa, really? By controlling this, you not only get one of all Tier 2 and Tier 3 resources per turn, 4 industry per artisan and 2 dust per artisan. When you have a huge population like I do, that is a massive boost. We have another deed achieved. We're the first to generate one of all resources. 50 more science on all cities. All right, back up to that 2,500 number. And what are these little fortresses down here? All right, so Tier 3 fortresses, 5 rewards. Looks scary, but you get legendary equipment by doing this. So, yeah, I mean, the deeper you go into the ground, the more fortresses, the more dangerous they become, which makes sense. Question, though, if I take a look at the Awakening Victory, one of the things you have to do is clear out 20 fortresses. Question, how many fortresses can be on a map? And does this scale with the size of the map? Because if there aren't enough fortresses, well, I guess it doesn't matter, because if you only need one of the categories to win the game, then I guess you don't have to worry about the fortresses, just expand. But again, I don't know what to feel about that, because that didn't happen. But theoretically, if you had to do both, what if there's not enough fortresses? Can you literally get blocked out from the master route? That'd be interesting. Maybe so. And actually, the reason I'm wondering, does it scale with the size of the map, is I look at this right here with the whole stature thing. Raise the public opinion of 7 empires to a minimum of 80. But here's the problem. There were only ever 6 empires on this map. So that was always impossible, and it's one of the reasons I didn't go down that route, because it didn't make any sense. So yeah, it's little things like that. With the victory conditions, with some of the endgame pacing, like clearly we shot way too far ahead of the Tidefall. So like, there's some endgame polish here that I think might be missing, and that's extremely unfortunate. Woo! Hey guys, remember how I said this game is kind of sci-fi? Well, if there's any doubt, let this answer your question. That's a spaceship! Right there, guys! Right next to the other natural wonder, too, which seems ridiculously overpowered. What does this one do? 3 science on all science tiles in a city's territories? Same with dust? Okay, I mean, it's all right. Yeah. This could be a pretty nice boost in some ways, for sure. What other special improvements could I build? Cheaper purchasing with dusts? Yeah, that could be a thing. Dust on quarries, meh. Science per city level? That doesn't sound as good to me as you would think. Because, like, I would think that a city level should be pretty high by now. Most of my cities are only level 2. I don't know if that's because I'm missing an important tech, but it just sort of seems okay. So yeah, I think that obviously the dust purchasing is kind of amazing, though. We want that. But aside from all this, I don't really know what else to do here. Like, I'm just kind of going around and killing things and trying to win the game that way. But, like, what else is there to do here? Because I've already technically won the game. And the AIs refuse to end their wars, even when they totally should. Which means I'm just stuck in the same micromanagement. There's not really any advantage. And all I can do is explore an area that is no longer relevant to me. And I can't even figure out, how do I get the Divine Oculum? Do I need to surround it with more buildings or something? Is that it? I've got a bunch of level 2 buildings around it. Do I need more? Is that even possible anymore? Hold on. I'm just going to use my dust and just buy a bunch of things. Wait, I literally don't even have any more dust. Dang it! I just want to see, like, if I were to surround the Holy Oculum with enough level 2 districts, which level up because they're surrounded by other level districts, would that make a difference? But I think level 2 is the max. So I don't think I can get level 3 districts to level this up. I think? I don't know. Maybe if I can just get one of these leveled up to level 2 and I'll have enough level 2 districts around this becomes level 3. And then it becomes the Divine Oculum. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out, but the game has given me no way to know how that works. Nope, doesn't appear to, because this is now level 2 as well, and that didn't do anything. Okay, so I just have no idea. Yeah, I don't know, guys. It's very difficult for me because I want to give this game a very big recommendation, because I've really enjoyed what I've seen so far. I really have. The early and mid-game is great. This feels a lot like, you know, a very good Endless Legend 1 with all these new factions and features, and I have to say, I think that Tidefall as a mechanic is brilliant, because what is one of the most fun things to do in a 4X game? Explore. That's one of the reasons the early game in, like, let's say Civ is one of the most played sections, because people like discovering a new randomly generated world. At least in Endless Legend 2 with Tidefall, that's a continuous process. You are always discovering and accessing something new, and I like that a lot. However, as we have seen, there's been some bugs, there's been some very derpy AI decisions, The pacing has proven to be completely wrong when it comes to Tidefall number 3. The victories did not work the way that I thought that they would. And now I have no idea how to even finish out my main storyline because I can't find a technology or an upgrade that gets me this. So now we're just sort of stuck doing nothing but just rinse and repeat until the world is nothing but my color. Like, okay, that's cool and all, but in its current state, if this does not get fixed, it's kind of difficult for me to give this a really strong recommendation, which is highly unfortunate. Again, I want to like this game. I do like this game. I think it is beautiful, but there's some work that needs to get done immediately after release. If they can get some early hot fixes pushed out like the next couple of weeks or so, I'll feel pretty good about this. But until they do, I don't think I want to start up another campaign. Not yet. So definitely keep an eye on this game. Pick it up, enjoy it. Just be aware that the endgame is rough around the edges. Once they fix that, I think we'll be fine. And the good news is I think it's all totally fixable. So this can be done. I just wish it had been done already. Nonetheless, I've had a lot of fun with Endless Legend 2. I hope you enjoyed this series. We will probably be doing more of this in the future once some of these things are fixed. In the meantime, though, if you want to see more, I would ask that you hit that like button and leave a comment. Let me know, would you like to see the Broken Lords or the Necrophages next? Because I feel like that's what I have to do, is play one of these two factions since they are old, familiar favorites from the original game. And of course, subscribe if you want to see my future content. Again, my name is Pravus. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.